Hey, what's up? David Taub here from nextlevelguitar.com. I'm here to give you a little beginner lesson on how to take probably some chords that you're already playing and getting to know, and how to spice them up a little bit, make them sound a little bit more interesting, maybe add a little bit more melody, and kind of just spice up your playing a bit in a very easy, fun, and fast way. We're going to take chords that you probably already know and just add a finger or take away a finger, and maybe just do a little hammer on or a pull off, and you can really change the complexity and the sound of the chord. And it's really easy to do. So we're just going to take like the first batch of chords that you're probably working with as a beginner. Take those chords and just embellish them and do easy hammers and pulls to get some different sounds. And I'm going to give you a close-up of this, but what I'm talking about is, and you could do this with just about any one of them. So if I just take like a D chord, and just do some basic easy things just to get some different sounds, like a little hammer on, just by hammering that note while I'm playing the chord. Or if I remove my second finger, making it a deesis2. Or I can add my pinky, making it a deesis4. Then I could do hammers and pulls on each of those. So you can come up with some really cool things. Just by doing those hammers and pulls. Here's a stock D major chord that you're probably familiar with. And if you add your pinky on the high E string, that makes it a deesis4. Take your pinky off, and then if you remove your second finger from the high E string, that makes it a deesis2, or suspended second. So you have these, D, sus2, D. So you can hear the difference in those. Now the first thing I was doing was, if you remove your first finger and play the chord, then you want to hammer your first finger down hard on that on the G string on that second fret. This is the sound you want to get, just the G string. See, I'm picking it once and then throwing that finger down the hammer. That's a hammer on. Now if you do that while you're doing the chord, see that nice sound you get from that hammering that note. Now add the pinky and pepper in and take off the second finger. So you see all that nice little melody you can kind of get, and a nice richness just from these little movements, all based off of this D, open D chord shape. Now, I also like to use when I'm playing the pinky on that D suspended fourth, so you could do a hammer where you're catching the pinky on that high E string, and then if you pull down, and again I'm only picking this once, let's see if I can do it up here. So you pick it once, throw down that pinky for the hammer, and then pull down to pull off the note which you're pulling off actually to the second fret. And you get 3 notes. And you do that while you're strumming. And you could do that same thing with that second finger. That's the kind of move again you want. You want to pick once, hammer with that second finger, then pull down. So if you do that with a chord, you get that. So start with it off like you're playing a deesis2, hammer, and then pull off. That'll sound like this. And then throw in that first finger too, and you get stuff like this. So sometimes I'm doing the hammers and pulls, and sometimes I'm just hitting the suspended fourth or the suspended second. You can mix them up. And that works on so many chords, like on A minor, right? You know that A minor chord. If you take off that first finger, that's an A suspended second, right? Real rich chord. And then if you add your pinky to the B string 3rd fret, that's an A suspended 4th. If you add your pinky to the high A string, the high E string, that's an A minor 7. And if you take off your 3rd finger, it's also an A minor 7, but that you're playing the open G. I like the one where you play the high G, A minor 7th. Some of the nice hammer-ons I like doing here is hammer that first finger from the open B to the 1st fret. Get that sound. Practice that first, then do it with the whole chord. Hear that? Isn't that beautiful? You do the same thing with your pinky on the B string. So you can get stuff like this. Another really nice hammer-on I like doing is 2 fingers, where I'm taking the open, I'm just holding my first finger, I'm playing that A minor, but with the 2 fingers off, think of it like that, and then come down on the D and the G strings on the 2nd fret, so you get this. 1 pick, and then you're hammering both fingers together. Sounds nice. You know, so you get stuff like this if I throw them all in there. I mean, it's endless. On a C major chord, right? Your open C chord. Take the open D string and hammer that 2nd fret. Practice that. Again, 1 pick, push down hard, and on that open C chord, hear that? That's a nice one. Also hammer that first finger, like we did with the A minor, on that B string 1st fret, because that's like a C major 7th. If you don't play that note, and then when you hammer it, you go to C major. Hammer that first finger on the B string, and you get that nice, well, again, 1 pick. So you have it on the D string, then you have on the B string. You can also hammer your pinky to the 3rd fret of the B string. You could add that pinky also to the 3rd fret on the D string, C suspended 4th. You can also add the pinky, a little bit of a stretch to the low E string, make it a C/G. With the G now, you play that 3rd fret on the low E string, with your pinky makes a G note in the bass. So it's C over G, C/G. You really hear that low E string. So if you do some of those together, you might get something like this. By the way, you can also put your pinky on the high E string, because that just adds a high G to the chord. That's a nice chord. Right? It's still a C major chord, but you're adding that high G note. Try some of those, and again, you know, even something as simple as like on a G major chord, right? Hammer this note, the B note, hammer from that open A string to that 2nd fret on the A string. So you get this nice kind of hammer on that note. See, anything you could do to vary these chords is going to add interest to your playing and make it more interesting for you playing them, and more importantly, more interesting for the listener listening. You could do the same thing if you drop down to play the C add 9. hammer with your first finger. Again, one pick, I'm on the D string. Hammer to that second fret. Remember, come down nice and hard with that finger, one pick hammer. So just take a few of these, you know, work them up. You can do it.